Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be setting up my 2024 Hobonichi cousin, which I am very excited about. It looks so skinny and fresh compared to the one I have now, which I can show you is right here. It's very chunky. I'll show you the difference. I knew it had gotten pretty chunky, but not quite that chunky. So that's interesting to compare. And I do have the English edition, as you can see here on the packaging. I'm gonna move that out of the way. I have a few things here that I'm going to use to set up my planner, but I'll talk about them each individually as we go through. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. The first thing I'm gonna be doing in the very front of the planner on these two sort of cream colored sheets is setting up a vision board using these pictures that I printed off Pinterest. I do this pretty much every year, or I have for the last, I think, 3 years maybe, and it's something I really enjoy. So I have a variety of pictures here, and I'm just going to arrange them based on how I think they'll look best, / which ones I want to be the focal point. And these are actually pretty big. I probably could have cut these photos down a bit, but if I have to, I'll just go to the back of this page and put photos there too. And I did print these on sticker paper. If you're curious about how to print photos as stickers, I will link up in the cards a video all about how I make stickers, and I think you'll find that pretty helpful. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is put down this quote from Tolkien. I want that to be the centerpiece of my planner here, and I am going to cut it down a bit because I don't want it to take up quite that much room. I used to glue these photos in, but it just is so much easier if you use sticker paper. All right, there's the first part of my vision board down. Now we can start laying out the other ones, and of course I don't want them to overlap much really. So I'm going to stagger them carefully. I think this is the most pictures I've had for a vision board. Usually I don't use quite this many photos. Okay, there's the second one. What should we do next? I think I'm gonna put this book stack up in the corner. I have a lot of reading goals for next year, which I'll talk about in my next reading vlog, but I will go ahead and tell y'all that one of my goals is to keep up with the reading vlogs. I've been really enjoying those, and I think y'all have too. Did that go over the top? Okay, no. And I don't usually fill up the entire vision board at once. I usually leave some extra space, so throughout the year I can come back and add things as my goals change. I think next I want to put this down, but I'm gonna trim it up a good bit. And I also just tore off the top edge. I like the way that looks. Vision boards definitely don't have to be a perfect science. It's just whatever you like and whatever conveys your goals. Yeah, I really should have made these pictures smaller. I don't know why I printed them so big, because I'm not going to be able to fit most of these on here. But I will try my best to make it easier for myself. I line the stickers up with the edge as much as possible so I know that they're going down straight. I need to do something over here because I have a ton of space and nothing to fill it. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to use the next page as well, just because I made the photos so big. Again, not sure what I was thinking. Now this page I think I'll be able to fill up almost perfectly, so that'll be fine because then I'll have the other two pages to fill up throughout the year. All right, that page is done. I do have one picture left from the ones I printed off, but I think it's okay to leave it because I like the way my vision board looks right now, and I have just a few spaces left to fill up throughout the year. So here's the first two pages, or the cover maybe I should say. and then the inner cover. And just in case you're curious, here is my vision board from last year. Last year I actually started off just with this page and then added things as I went, so I didn't fill it up completely either, but I do have some stuff on this side as well. Moving on from the vision board, the next page that I'm going to in this planner, oh, I should probably mention, this is a memory planner for me, so I don't use a lot of the spreads. For example, I don't use the year at a glance spread. I used to use this spread here as a habit tracker, but I don't do that anymore, although I kind of want to because it was really satisfying to see all the little tick marks at the end of the year, but I'm not going to worry about setting that up today. The next thing I'm going to worry about is the monthly calendar, and this I use to track highlights of the day, so I'm not going to be able to fill out most of it right now, but what I want to do is do a bit of lettering on the sidebar right here just to fill that up because I don't fill it up otherwise. And for the lettering, I'm going to be using some of these Stabilo brush pens. I'll link these down below. I love these brush pens. There's a very wide variety of colors. I think I'm going to go for this really dark bluish purple one. I think that's a very January color. And I'm just going to do a bit of lettering. All right, just like that. So I get questions about my lettering, and honestly, I think the thing that makes the biggest difference in your lettering is the pen you use. I do really like these brush pens. They have a very flexible tip to them, so it makes it easier to make the strokes in my opinion. But I also have digital download hand lettering guides where you can trace my writing, available in my shop if you really want to try your hand at my style of lettering. All right, that's really it that I need to mark in the monthly calendar. As I said, this is a memory keeper, so I could go in and mark things like the NPC B-Day Bash or my birthday, but I'm not going to because I want to mark it on the day. What I am going to do though is take one of these little metal planner tabs. I got these from Jet Pens. I'll link them down below. In fact, I'll link everything that I mentioned down below. But I really like these because they're reusable, and at the end of the year, I just take them off my other planner and put them in this one, in my new one. And the monthly pages are one of the places I like to have a tab at. I think I'm going to start the tabs in the middle this year. So just slide that on like that. They come off really easily. They don't damage the paper at all. And they stick up so you can see them over the top of the planner like that. Something that I hadn't really planned on doing, but that I just decided to do is put down some wintry stickers. I have some Winter on the Go Winstons from my shop. I think I'm going to take this dark blue one and put it down here. So cute. And then I have these little ice skating and cocoa stickers from Sticky Piggies. This shop is no longer open, but that doesn't mean the stickers aren't still adorable. So I'm going to put a couple of these down, just for some deco. All right, now we are ready to move on. I'm not going to fill in the rest of the spreads because I'll do these individually when the time comes. So the next thing we come to is the weekly spreads, and I do want to put another tab down here. Now there isn't much to do here. The main thing I want to do is label which kit I want to use on which week as far as I currently know. So to do that, I just have this pack of Misfit sticky notes from my shop, and I'm just going to write the kit on it, and then I'm going to cut the sticky note into strips and put them in the planner. So this week, I know I want to use the New Year's kit from our Hobonichi Cousin functional bundle. The next week, hopefully it's going to be cold, and if it is, I'm going to use our new Winter Wonderland Winston kit. If it's not cold, I'll probably switch that up. This week is the week before my birthday, and I usually like to do 2 birthday spreads. So this week I'm going to use the birthday kit out of our Hobonichi bundle that I just mentioned. And then this week, I'm going to use the Birthday Winston kit. And it just goes on and on like that throughout the planner. Of course, I don't have every single spread planned out yet, but I will do as many as I can. That way, when I'm done, I can flip through and see which weeks I don't have a kit for, and then do some kit shopping. So I'm just gonna take off this sticky note and flip back to the front. As I said, I'm just gonna snip this into little tabs. If you have those little sticky marker tabs, you could definitely use that for this, but I just have a lot of these Misfit sticky notes, so I'm going to be using them up. And I just stick it over here on the sidebar. I have had some sticky notes before, not these ones, but some that are like a darker color. They will leave a residue or a little bit of a stain over here, so I always put my sticky note right here where I know I'm going to put a full box, so that if anything does happen to my page, it gets covered up by that full box. Next, we are heading to the back of the planner. So the Hobonichi Cousin does have daily pages, as you can see right here. I do use the daily pages. I use them for my Bible studies, so I'm not gonna be filling these out either, but I'll just show them to you real quick. The next space we're going to is the very, very back of the planner, where you have all your notes pages and things like that. So you get some grid paper. There's a timetable, little place to mark favorites, but this is what I'm interested in right now. This is the My 100 page. It has suggestions up here for what you can mark. So movies you've seen, books you've read, snacks, shops, all that kind of stuff. I always use this to mark books I've read in the year, and I'm going to do that again this year. For writing on this page, I'm going to use my TWSBI Eco. I'll link this down below as well. And I do have a little Winston holding a book sticker that I'm going to add, I think over here, just to spice it up a bit. Now, I've been doing this for a few years now, and I have never used up all 100 book slots. I don't ever really plan to. The most books I've ever read in a year, I think, is 84, so not really enough to fill up these spaces. But I do enjoy doing this, and in my other Hobonichis, I occasionally use this page for different things. One year I wrote down Bible verses that I memorized. Again, I didn't hit 100, but it's just a really good space to mark things that you have a bunch of. Another thing I did that was probably one of my favorite ways I've used this was marking 100 small things I did to try and reach my goals for the year. That was great for me because I'm not a huge goal setter, and I'm still getting into setting goals, so it made me feel really good to have lots of little things to mark that help me work up to my big goals. Because sometimes, well, I don't know if it's everyone, but sometimes I really feel like I'm not making progress because I don't have anything to check off in my goals, since they do tend to be long-term goals, and it's not like I'm going to accomplish a goal every single week. So that's another way you can use this spread if you're looking for an idea. Okay, moving on, there's some recipes in here. Is this new? I think this page might be new. Have to look closer at that later. Okay, this page is going to be my goals page. Speaking of goals, it's actually for words or memorable phrases to record, but I don't ever do that. So what I do is, if you can see, this is a white box and there's a darker gray line at the bottom. I write my goal in the box, and then in the gray line, I'll write what date I achieved the goal. So it's a good way to keep track of goals and completed goals. So I have some goals in my other planner that I'm going to be referencing. The first of which is to pay off my car. I I also want to visit at least 2 new states. And then I want to publish at least 2 new works. Y'all have probably heard about how I've been writing for the last couple years, and I've been working on self-publishing some of my items. And I'm putting works because I write novels and novellas, so I don't want to publish 2 novels in case I don't get around to it. I'm just going to put works. My 4th goal is going to be read 25 books. I'm tracking this goal 3 different times, I think. I have it here, and then I have it on the books read page, and then I'm tracking it on Goodreads, and I'll probably track it in my book planner as well, so I'll be tracking it 4 times, which is maybe a little excessive, but I love to read, so I don't mind. The next goal is not really one that I'll be able to date. It's something I want to practice throughout the year, and that is regular journaling and memory keeping. I used to journal a lot, almost every day, but I got out of the habit, and also my memory keeping used to extend through multiple planners, but again, I just I don't know why I stopped, but I did, and I want to get back into really extensive journaling and memory keeping. I feel like it helps me get my thoughts out and also be more grateful. And the last goal I'm going to write down is similar to this one, where I'm not going to have a specific end date, but it's to avoid evening screen time. I used to, again, be super good about not using screens after about 8 p.m., but I got really lax with myself, and I've been letting myself have evening screen time, and I can tell I don't sleep as well, and I'm not as focused during the day, so I want to get rid of that again. And I almost forgot, back here on our books page, I do want to put in another tab. And I want one on the goals page as well, so I can easily flip to my goals page. And the one on the goals page is going to serve a double purpose, because the next sheet here is the 365 days checkoff sheet. And I use this as a no spend tracker, so if I go a day without spending any unnecessary money, I will fill the shape in with a highlighter. And I say unnecessary money because if I'm paying a bill or something, I don't count that as spending necessarily. No spend to me is only when you don't spend money that you don't need to spend. So obviously I have to pay my light bill and stuff. I mean, that doesn't count to me as breaking a no spend. But I do like to write no spend up at the top. And most of you probably guessed this, but in case you're new here, these are the highlighters I like to use for everything, including my 365 checkoff. These are zebra mild liners. They come in tons of colors and I really like them. They are great quality and hold up really well. So I'll link those down below as well. And I think that's about all I need to fill out for this planner. In the back you have some pages to write down gifts, addresses, and your own info. This planner does not leave my house, so I don't typically fill this out, but it's definitely a good idea if you're going to be taking the planner out with you. But that is it for my new cousin. I'm very excited to get started with it and also flip through my old one. But for now, I'll stop here on the completed vision board page. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!